Okay. So if you're listening to my podcast, I'm going to assume that you're like more in line with being my people. And I put air quotes around that. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, if you're watching on YouTube, you saw me. And here's why I did that. I get really fed up with social media. I'm just gonna say it because you're my people, right? I mean, I love it on one hand, but I hate it on the other hand, however you should say that. And sometimes I feel kind of conflicted about that because so many of you that I talk to through the vehicle of social media. I mean, that's where I frankly started building my business. That was the sort of roots of my business to meet women who I could help and have an impact on their life. Many of you probably are listening to this podcast because you found me first on social media. So I'm kind of conflicted in admitting this, but it is a reality. It is what it is. So I'm going to talk about it today. So I did start growing my business through social media long before, several years before I retired from higher education. When I went full time into this work with women and weight loss and wellness, I completely focused on social media as an avenue. I mean, that was my place to reach you, that and email. I didn't have a podcast at the time. It was through friends on Facebook. It was through referrals from women who had been in my mentorship program, them telling their friends and introducing them on Facebook. I did start an email list. I think I mentioned that. And so that grew. But Facebook and Instagram were my two primary places to meet you or for you to find me. So again, I don't want to throw too much shade, but here's why I get so frustrated and why I'm talking about this. In the last couple of years, especially, I've seen this explosion on social media of just everybody and their sister, I should say. Everybody and their sister is trying to sell something and trying to be a quote unquote coach and, they're whatever, right? I mean, I know you see it too. And while I believe wholeheartedly in mentorship and coaching is a component, that's one of the ways that I mentor women is through coaching and teaching. I think there are a lot of crappy people out there calling themselves coaches, people who don't have expertise, who don't have their heart in the right place. Why they're doing it is not for reasons that I think are honorable kinds of reasons. And they throw around really generic, just crappy advice. So, one of the things I am sick of, and I'm going to, the focus of today is this like buzzword stuff. I am so tired of seeing these people on social media post about things like finding your why. So if you want to hear a little bit of a real blunt rant today, stick in here with me because that's what I'm going to do. But I'm also going to talk on a deeper level, specifically about that finding your why cliche crap in a way that I think will be helpful to you. So if I see another post about it, I think I shared in a recent social media post, or maybe I was talking in stories. I said, I'm going to roll my eyes into next week. And here's what I mean. Look, finding your why, understanding why you want to make change in any way that is a substantial change in your life. And yes, weight loss is one of those things. Getting healthy is one of those ways. Finding why you want to do that is super important. You're not going to make any kind of substantial change if you don't know really truly why you want to do it, if you don't get to the root of that. But tossing that question out, like, why do you want your why without any, what is your why? Why do you want to reach your goals? without any depth to that, without further exploring that's just fluff. And it may make people feel all like warm and fuzzy inside to see a post about that, but it doesn't move the needle. It does not affect any kind of real change. And what I do in the work, the mentorship work that I do with women, I really get clients to dig a lot deeper, to go below the surface of things like those surface level motivations, which is what I think that why question gets at. It's just a surface level, like what's motivating you in the moment, and that's fleeting. And so you can't stop at the question of why. That's just like the first layer, maybe a sub layer to that first layer. And I'll give you an example. Just it's probably been a week or so if you're, at the time that you're listening to this podcast. It was this week when I was recording it. I was helping clients take a deep dive into what is actually driving them, getting beyond that first level of layer of why, right? We were exploring and examining yet again on a deeper level their beliefs, their experiences, and even their self judgments, because all of those things shape your weight loss, your health, your wellness journey, right? So I wanted them to take a closer look. It's super easy to focus on what we want to change. The weight loss, I want to have healthier habits, I want to increase my confidence, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But you've got to revisit and dig a lot deeper into why you want those changes. And you have to confront what I call the internal layers related to those changes. And those are the things that often go really unexamined. Even when a woman embarks on a weight loss journey or a self-improvement journey at this stage in life, those internal layers go unexamined. And when we don't peel them back and really take a deep and significant look at them, that also means those layers just stay there. They go unchanged. You're not aware of them, and you don't understand, therefore, the impact of those layers, beliefs, experiences, criticism, self-criticism, self-judgment. You don't understand on a deep level the impact that they have on your weight and your health. And we all say that we know that real transformation, like really significant change in your life with your weight and your health, it's not just about the number on the scale, right? Or the size of your jeans. We'll all admit to that. We all acknowledge that. It is really about uncovering the deep levels of what drives you. But how many of you actually do the work to uncover those things and to understand them? Without that work, you cannot change them. And without changing them, you will never, even if you reach weight loss goals or get to some health goals and make a little bit of progress, you will never maintain that. You will never stay there, because it's about the beliefs that you hold. It's about the fears that may have been silently steering the ship, oftentimes without you even recognizing it. Call it the emotional psychological side of this journey, call it a shift in mindset that you need, however you want to describe it. It is uncovering, it is understanding, it is examining those vulnerable bits and pieces that have been, like I said, silently guiding you down a path that you haven't even been aware of how far you've trekked down. Okay. And so let's think about that today. That's the whole purpose of this episode. Besides me ranting about the crappy coaching that goes on online, I really want to help you to think on a deeper level about these things that are subsurface, but are negatively impacting you. So, what part, or let's say, is there, and if so, what part of your life is that part where you're pushing to hold yourself to a different standard? Is there a part of your life? Have you sort of started to do that deep level work? Have you even really thought about how that deep level work has to occur for you to make change? Because and I asked you about the pushing hard part. That was a little confusing, I think, but let me clarify what I mean by that. I work with women who are very successful in so many different aspects of their lives. They've raised families, they have achieved all kinds of educational pursuits and professional pursuits. They are, leaders in their industry. They're intelligent, driven, high achieving women. And sometimes what we uncover is that they push extra hard in some areas of life, and they hold themselves to these high standards in those areas of life because it helps them to avoid the deep, painful areas that need examining for them to transform in a way that makes them truly happy, that gets them in touch with their joy. So maybe you can think about it this way. What is it that you have been trying to, or you have been avoiding entirely in your life? And I want to encourage you to take a few moments to think about those two things. What really is behind why you've pushed yourself to succeed, and or what have you been avoiding in life? Take a few minutes today and really think about that, reflect on that. Get open and honest with yourself about that. What am I really trying to achieve in my life? That's one question you can ask yourself. And why? Is there a part of me that needs healing or that needs understanding rather than me trying to put a band-aid or just fix something like my weight? What is underneath that desire to lose weight that needs to be healed, that needs understanding on a way that we can untangle it to understand what's happening, right? How would your journey, weight loss journey, health journey, self-improvement journey, how would that journey look different if you embarked on it from a place of kindness rather than a place of judgment? Because a lot of you look to lose weight, look to get healthy from this position of self-judgment, from this place of being critical. I look in the mirror, I hate what I see. And that's the driving force for you oftentimes to reach out and message me about wanting to jump on a call. How would that journey look different if your motivation, your desire to lose weight, to get healthier, came from a place of kindness with yourself rather than that criticism of the reflection in the mirror? Like, I really want you to hear my words today and remember that your road to happiness, your road to health is not just about the strategy, the pieces of the puzzle, putting it together, in this strategic process to get your metabolism working for you. It's not just about that. It is also about the mindset that carries you to those ultimate goals. Without the two in sync, and they're not always in sync, but without working on the two of them to get them in a healthier position of sync, right? You will never, ever truly transform your life. You just won't. That's why so many of you have lost weight over and over and over only to gain it back. It's not just because you've hit perimenopause or you're going through menopause. There's more to this story. And until you untangle those pieces and you recognize that, yes, there's strategy that is required, but your health and your happiness, your true joy also depends on your mindset, the between here and here. And I'm pointing between my ears. What's going on between those ears inside your head? That's what also has to carry you to that ultimate place of joy. That's the foundation of true change. And so, are you willing to dig a little bit deeper? That's the real question. I know it can feel vulnerable. I know it can be difficult even to admit these things to ourselves, but it's super powerful if you dig into that vulnerability a little bit. Start a journal. Hell, message me and let's chat about it. Or if you're not at that place where you're ready to have that conversation, then get out a piece of paper, get out a journal that you've kept in your backpack or your purse for work, and start writing out some of the answers, your true feelings and thoughts around some of the questions that I shared earlier. So instead of asking yourself, why do I want this? Why do I want to lose weight? Why do I get healthy? Try asking yourself, why am I holding myself back? What story am I telling myself about what I deserve or don't deserve? Why do I not feel ready? How would my life look if I stopped judging myself for wanting more? Do that kind of deep work because that's where transformation actually starts. And if you're really honestly at a place where you want to get past this, and you're tired of the typical like why talk and you want something that is going to actually stick in your life, then I'm here to help. But don't expect cliche crap. Don't expect the typical social media kind of coach coddling and generic sorts of tips. I am about helping women make true transformation. I'm about you getting to a place of lasting change because on this side, life is better. Life is beautiful. Life is so different, but you truly have to want that kind of deep level change. I hope this was helpful today. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you right back here next time.